In my last East Village video, I was working on this street, but I did a little bit of building off camera and I built New York. I just want to give you a bit of an update on this project, how it's going. If you haven't watched the last video, this is for an upcoming video where I traveled to New York this past November. It's going to be all about how you plan a neighborhood, you know, what goes on your street, how you plan these fancy buildings right here, what you actually put back here, which, you know, still obviously a work in progress. It's not going to look like this when it's done, I promise. But I want to give you a bit of an update on what I've done since that last video. So you can obviously tell there's 11 more city blocks. I have made some progress on Tompkins Square Park, which is this park in the middle. And I did decide to keep the village. I know I was thinking about gentrifying it, you know, putting, I don't know, something in here. But, you know, I thought it was kind of a nice keepsake. You know, it kind of makes it feel authentic in a way. But I have my basketball court. Pretty cool. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more detailed. I don't really know what I want to do with these iron fences yet. They are a little bit bland, but I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, I have to add lots of trees in here. Lots and lots of trees. I want it to be very, very green. But some of the work that I've done is down on street level. So once you walk along here, you can see there's a lot more trees and it feels a lot more like New York. Well, less so this part. Let me go to another part that feels a little bit more lively. Let's see if we can find a street that's mostly done. This one's looking pretty good, actually. There's still a lot of street level details that I need to add. Like there's a couple spots. You can put your bike, there's some street lights. I know this style of tree isn't for everyone. My buddy Jay, he was doing some fancy stuff with levers here. So I decided to incorporate this style. And yeah, I know, like if you're up close, it's kind of like, oh, well, you can tell it's granite. But if you're back here, it looks a little bit better, you know? And then I decided to mix it with, you know, my less fancy trees. I'm going to add lots of vehicles. And then the reason why this one is smaller than this is parking. This one is not, but you can also have parking on the left-hand side here. Now, something that's quite different about this project compared to what I usually build. Well, I built that one too. Well, we'll tour that in a minute. But something that's quite different is the lane widths are 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and usually I build at a 1.5 to 1 scale, which means the lanes are 5 wide, and then you have the lines on either side. I want to minimize the size of the roads where I can. I know they are still quite large. Compared to the size of the buildings, I think it's actually a pretty decent scale. Like, check that out. Look how nice that looks. Very nice. Oh yeah, I have some garbage cans and little signs here. No parking signs, bus stop signs, I guess. Same thing there. Maybe, actually, I don't know what I meant them to be, but you know, there's signs. Maybe they're no parking. I don't know. It seems kind of odd to have 2 bus stops beside each other, you know? I do have the names of the streets. This is Avenue A and East 10th. Now, if you do visit Tompkins Square Park in real life, it does cover 3 blocks. So there should be an extra one somewhere in here. Actually, this should be split into thirds instead of halves, but that's okay. I wanted to make it feel a little bit more, you know, Minecraft-y, so that if your render distance isn't up super, super high, you can still see way across the park, just like this. So let's check out this building over here. It's pretty cool. This is based on an actual one, which is right beside the park, and it is quite a bit taller than the rest of them. You have some air conditioners with the iron blocks and then the iron trap doors. I thought it was kind of cool. Little plants up top. This is a little condo, sort of, you know, like a greenery space. Not a greenery space. What do you call it? A solarium? So you can have your rooftop New York solarium, your penthouse. This would be a pretty sweet place to live, not gonna lie. And a little spot up here too. I used crafting tables just as little planters, you know. And then looking down here, check that out. Such a cool view. It's gonna be so cool once I finish this park. Put some graffiti just to give it a sense of place. You have your NYC. I know on the inside. Oh, did I hide it on the inside? Because this wall is 1 thick. Yeah, you can see it a little bit on the inside, but that's okay. That just makes it a little bit more interesting. And these shops down here, I do want to customize them a little bit because some of these are the same as other ones. Although I did try to make quite a bit of variety, but I will change them up. And I will be going around on Google Maps and, you know, looking at my old footage of when I was in New York to see if I can find some custom, but I will be using real life East Village shops and putting them in the city. The rooftops need quite a bit of work. I don't want them to be all identical. Oh no. Okay, so when I was pasting buildings in, I wasn't paying attention apparently. And I need to be careful of these windows here too on the side. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of work to do here. So if you're walking through East Village, you're admiring all the pretty looking buildings and you say, ooh, Wow, Alpine's Timbit shop. Don't mind if I do. Come in here and you're like, hey, can I have a table for one? And they're like, yeah, sure, but you know, it's a nice day outside. It's a nice spring day in New York, and you don't want to sit inside. You want to enjoy the beautiful weather. So you say, hey, can I have a seat on the patio? And they're like, yeah. So you go over onto this patio, which does not exist. Shh, don't worry, use your imagination, all right? And then you sit here, you sit at a table, and then you order your food. And then when they bring the food out, they just cross the sidewalk, making sure you're not gonna run into anybody. Bring your food over, you eat here, and then you get to enjoy the outdoors as well. Hello, son, how you doing? So that is some of the work that I will be doing here shortly once I do finish up my to-do list. If we fly back this way into Tompkins Square Park, you can see this red wool. This is a lot of the roadside decor that I have to do. I had trees, and then, oh, what do I have to do? Add cobbled dirt and ferns around base. Yeah, so this stuff here. But if we fly over this way, you can see I pasted these in yesterday, and there's not a whole lot around the base. So I will be making it a little more interesting. See, cobble, and then stuff like this, grass, and then, you know, sometimes I'll have ferns, stuff like that. I do have all of the streetlights in place. I did that yesterday, but I still have a lot of stuff to do. Fire hydrants, that one right there. See that? You like my fire hydrant? Garbage cans, intersection street names, parking signs, speed limit signs, mailboxes, bike racks. And then for some of the streets, they are one way. So some of them do have arrows, but since I did copy and paste them, they are all flowing the same direction. See that arrow there? So you can't actually drive back this way, which is clearly a problem. So I do need to swap the direction. That's a work in progress. What else do I have to do? Oh, First Avenue streetlights. I have to fix them. First Avenue is this one, which is clearly quite a bit larger than the other ones. So if you go to East Village, you have First Avenue, and then if you go further west, it goes 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, I think all the way up to 8th or 9th or 10th or something. I think 8th is the last major one. But once you go back to 1st, then there's a little part of Manhattan that sticks out near the southern tip-ish. And you get A, B, C, and D. I built A, B, and C. I do not have D. But I changed up the road here. Still work in progress. Quite flat, quite lack of buildingness. What is this, Nebraska? And kind of the same idea here where you have, oh, these are apartment buildings. Okay, these are gonna be changed to shops on the ground floor, especially along the avenues. Do I have any shops here? I don't think I do. I don't have any shops, really? Okay, pretend this one's a shop. And you do the same idea here. This is a bike lane, okay? This green part, that's a bike lane. So within the extents of the building, and then you build a patio right here. You just have to be very careful when you're crossing here to look for bikes. Otherwise, oh, you're gonna get smacked. You're gonna get yelled at by a cyclist. And honestly, you kind of deserve it. Lots of stuff to fix, lots of stuff to do. Obviously, lots of unfinished areas. But yeah, my name is Matt, and thanks for watching. Oh, also subscribe and get the notification bell on if you do want to see the neighborhood planning video that I'm making this area for. So, see ya.